Okay, so I'm sure you've probably already seen all of the videos talking about you should be a beekeeper because of the honey, because of the wax, you can make money, helps the environment. I know you've already seen those videos, so I'm going to tell you some of the things that nobody really talks about being a beekeeper, but these are the perks of what happens when you're a beekeeper. So reason number one for why you should be a beekeeper is right away, you pretty much sign up to be a forever student. I don't know, I still have a lot to learn, but there's only so much information you can consume in one day, so let's go. And that keeps life so interesting and so fascinating because you know how it is. Sometimes life can get a little bit dull and a little bit boring. And as a beekeeper, you always have to be on your toes and you always have to be learning and trying to understand the bees better and what you can do. And that just makes things fun and more interesting for your life as a beekeeper. Well, today is day one towards my goal of eventually having a genetic of bee across most of my apiary that is resistant to mites. I think it's really easy to get stuck in our same old patterns and kind of get stuck in like a loop sometimes with life as well. And beekeeping kind of breaks that loop because since you're learning so many things all the time and you're always having to try new things and do new things, you're always able to be kind of flexible and everything with life, and that kind of relates to your life as well and helps you be able to just kind of roll with the punches of life and roll with the punches as a beekeeper. So like I said, the past 3 days I've been really busy and I made all of these. There are 19 of them here. I am going to put the double stacks on them later, but today I'm going to fill up all of these nukes with bees so that they are ready for queens. A couple of them, or some of them, I'm going to put the queens from that nuke in them today, but then the other ones I'm leaving 10 empty because one of you guys that follows the channel, I know you said you didn't want a shout out, but Casey, you are the best. Really, your timing is impeccable. I will be getting 10 more queens to put into these hives tomorrow. So things are moving really fast in the BeeFit apiary, as I said. Reason number two, which is honestly one of my favorite parts about beekeeping, is the community. I have never in my life met a community of people that is so kind and so sharing with everything that they have, all the knowledge they have. And it's also really cool that if you just like casually stumble upon someone who's a beekeeper just in like the general public, you instantly form a connection because you're like, oh my gosh, you're as crazy as I am. You keep bees. So the community of beekeeping definitely stands alone for anything else. And life can get kind of lonely sometimes. So when you take up beekeeping, you're also becoming a part of that community of all of us beekeepers, just kind of having each other's back and helping each other out the best way that we can. Reason number three for why you should be a beekeeper. So I've heard so many people talk about this and I have actually experienced this myself, but beekeeping is seriously a cure for depression and anxiety and other mental illnesses. It really helps out in that department because it gives you kind of like a sense of purpose. You're doing something for the greater good of your environment, of your community, not just doing something for yourself or, you know. So beekeeping really has changed so many lives and my life included. Beekeeping truly did change my life. It has this way of like kind of calming you. There is seriously not a single day that I can't walk into my bee yard and literally it's like all of my problems wash away immediately and just everything's okay again, and you're left feeling like you can tackle all the problems that you thought you had, and it just makes life a lot easier because of that. And also there's something about just the sound and the feeling of the bees just buzzing around you. Once you get past like that beginner's anxiety when it's like a little bit overwhelming to have all the bees just buzzing around you, once you get past that and you start just getting used to it, it has this way of just feeling so like freeing and calm, and it feels amazing. I know other beekeepers feel this too because I've heard many talk about it. So chime in, beekeepers, if you feel the same way whenever you are in your bee yard, just feeling all the bees buzzing around you. It is the best feeling ever. ever, and I definitely miss it because it's wintertime right now. Reason number 4 is beekeeping gives you so much confidence that then translates to the rest of your life. So since beekeeping is something that is so humbling, like you seriously feel dumb 90% of the time, because let's face it, we're not bees, we're humans, so we're kind of one step behind, having to kind of read and understand what they're doing and when they're doing it. So that makes it a little bit tricky just in kind of understanding the bees and everything. So like I said, you can feel dumb 90% of the time. But then when you try new things in your bee yard and an experiment goes well, even though you're kind of doubting yourself a little bit, it gives you this sense of like confidence that then translates into your life and pretty much shows you that you can do anything that you put your mind to, and that is definitely something that helps. Okay, I guess the only thing left to do is just close her up and check on her in a couple days to see if it worked. Oh, I really hope it did. I feel like we put so many limitations on ourselves that kind of holds us back from creating the life that we truly want. And part of that is just excuses and not feeling like we're good enough to have that life or able to accomplish that life. But like I keep saying, in beekeeping, when you go out and you try something and you succeed, like say you get your first hive through winter, you get your first really big honey harvest, it is a really rewarding feeling, and it kind of shows you, hey, maybe you can build the life that you want. And reason number 5, so this is something that I've talked about with my friends so many times, but okay, say tomorrow society as we know it just completely collapsed and all of a sudden we're having to build our own shelters, find our own food, grow our own food, pretty much survive the way we did before we had technology and running water, civilization the way we have it now. What is your end of the world skill? What is that one thing that you can bring to the table in your community so that they can benefit to help the human population as a whole to be able to survive in a situation like that? It's something that not many of us think about, but really though, it's kind of interesting to sit there and think, okay, what can I bring to the table if the world was to end tomorrow? What would be the reason that the community would need me as a part of their community? So beekeeping is definitely one of those, because honey lasts a lifetime and not many people become beekeepers because we are considered a little crazy. But anyways, so that's just something to think about. So if you're here watching this video because you're a new beekeeper, I just want to say that I know you're never going to feel ready to start beekeeping, but honestly, you're never going to be ready until you just dive in and do it. So if you're thinking about it and you've really been wanting to, but you're just kind of like hanging on the edge there, like, I don't know if I should or not, I'm here to tell you, just do it, just try it. I promise it is so rewarding, and you never know, you could find a lifelong hobby that you're always gonna love. And honestly, I've heard so many different stories from beekeepers talking about their origin story of how they became a beekeeper. There's some people that studied and studied and studied for years and then they finally became a beekeeper. And then there's other people like myself that literally just fell into beekeeping. So when I started beekeeping, I literally knew nothing at all. I was just gifted these 2 hives and was said, here, put bees in them. And I didn't really know where to get bees, so I just looked up online, okay, where can I get bees shipped to my door? Which is not the best place to get bees, just saying. Definitely look for someone local in your area to get bees from, because bees are locally adapted and you're gonna have better odds with them. But I lucked out with the bees I got. Not always the case, but I got lucky. Anyways, I just threw these bees in this colony and I literally left it for 3 months and did not come back. That's how little I knew about beekeeping. So you don't have to know everything to get started. You can kind of learn as you're going, as long as you're able to sit there and research and learn everything you possibly can. Because that is the one thing about beekeeping, is you definitely want to do your research once you do start beekeeping. So anyways, if you're thinking about being a beekeeper, I am encouraging you to just try it. It is so rewarding, like I keep saying, and I promise you it won't be that hard. But okay, enough of the inspirational talk from me today. I will check out with you guys and I will see you guys soon. And oh, I almost forgot. So, what is your end of the world skill?